And we're live?
Hey.
Yo, we are live.
There's some confidence in that voice, too. Like, we're live?
Yeah, I just couldn't tell for a second.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
Yeah, no one truly knows if we're live.
Yeah, true.
How's it going, guys?
Not too
What's
shabby.
new in your lives?
Sleep. Sleep is new. It's nice.
Yeah. Today was a chore day, and it's hot.
Yep.
So we took a small nap as well over here.
We put together a new flower bed for the backyard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I put that together, and we're gonna fill that up and everything tomorrow. But we're waiting a bit first because Reese got a little overexerted today. She's still not fully recovered, so
sure.
So she's still waiting on that. How are you, Sean?
That quarantine cut?
You did, yeah.
Haircut?
Yep. Finally. It feels so good to be free of all that hair.
Sure.
Oh, it's so nice. Other than that, Paul,
I'm so aerodynamic now. Sorry.
Yes, I'm still doing the thing though where I like move my head and then I expect to feel the like motion of the hair, so I have to like adjust back, and it's like, oh wait, there's nothing's happening. So my body is still not, the muscle memory has not figured it out yet.
Sure.
But that'll come for sure.
Sure.
Worked out pretty well. I might not ever go back to a barber. Like if I can just do this at my house, what's the point?
Yeah. It's one of those things that when you realize, like, my cut's pretty easy for anybody to do. Why am I paying somebody to do this every, like, month or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll definitely see, especially also, like, where the world is in a few months when I want another haircut.
Yep.
We'll see how things go. Paul, since we last did a podcast, you have emerged from your cocoon of having not ever seen an episode of SpongeBob.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where this was going.
I was hoping to talk about that.
Sure, let's do it.
About how you dove into the deep end.
I did.
And watched like 8 episodes or something. John and I gave you some recommendations. You watched more than just those, it looked like.
Well, it's weird because the recommendation you guys gave was like a half of an episode. So I just watched the other half. Is how that went.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. Because I guess I had forgotten they're split up into 2 per 30-minute block.
Yeah, so that's why it seemed like a little bit more. And then I did watch, I think, 1 completely off. So I did use the Bob for Paul or whatever stupid hashtag you were talking about that one time, and started like just writing. I was going to live tweet all of it, but then I was just like, these episodes are too short and too much is happening that, like, as I'm typing these out, something else is happening. So I'll just give like an
weird
overview
explosion
at the end.
Or some, yeah.
I'm just trying to think. So one standout is the first episode has 3 vignettes or parts or episodes to it, like the first chunk or 3 chunks.
Okay.
One of which is called Reef Blowers, and it's literally just SpongeBob has like it's like a little gaff or a goof or something. He has a like leaf blower thing, but to like get rid of coral, and ends up like accidentally sucking up the whole ocean and then spitting it out. It's literally like 2 minutes long, and it's just such a waste of time. There's no talking in it. There's no writing. It's just a silly gag or whatever. I thought Help Wanted was okay.
The first episode, right?
It's the very first episode where he becomes a fry cook or whatever, and they send him on this impossible journey, and then he comes back with it, and it's just like, okay, that's like funny, that's good.
All right.
Yeah, that was fine. But Tea at the Tree Dome is the one that you were saying I should watch, and that's the first one that I got like good laugh out of, where he's like dying the whole time, and it's like, okay, this is cute, this is funny or whatever. And then the final shot is him and Patrick as like a real dried out sponge and starfish. As just like, okay, that's fucking great. That's
the show does do a lot of visual gags of like, okay, here's like what it actually looks like in real life.
Yeah,
they do. They definitely do that.
Yeah, so that one was the first one that I felt like really good about. And then I'm just trying to think. I'm actually just going through the thing here. Shanghai was weird at the very beginning because it starts off with like this fake pirate show, and then it goes into the episode. You know what I mean?
So that's one I didn't quite remember, but a listener had sent this one in.
Yeah.
It.
So this was the Flying Dutchman.
This was the Flying Dutchman episode, yeah.
Yeah. Flying Dutchman's great. And I really, really like how it's like, okay, you guys are stuck on my, like, horror cruise forever now, basically, and you have to help me scare people. And he's just so frustrated at how, like, annoying and shitty they are. It's just like, this is great. This is actually pretty good.
There's a few characters in that show that are annoyed with how shitty SpongeBob and his friends are.
Yeah, for sure. And I unfortunately relate to those characters the most. And they're usually pretty funny.
Mrs. Puff.
I don't like Mrs.
Mermaid
Puff.
Man.
Mermaid Man was pretty good. I can't remember what I watched him in, but I really like that they're just in like an old folks home. I don't know. Yep. It's weird.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of. Okay. There was another that was paired up with one called like Jellyfish or something like that, and it's basically Soylent Green, which is great. I thought that was really, really funny. Where it's just like, oh, this is cute or whatever. They like this weird shit on their burgers, and then it went too far, and Mr. Krabs set up this weird like factory, and all the squids are or all the jellyfish are gone now for their goo.
Yeah. Now I remember this one. Yeah.
It's fucking weird. That's a weird episode, and I really enjoyed it quite a bit. Fry Cook Games was all visual gags, so that was fun.
Fry Cook Games is very good. Yeah. I like that when they get like super ripped as they're fighting each other.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their insults are literally just calling each other the color that they are.
Yeah, the underwear at the end. That's a good episode.
My favorite one is there's like a part where they're doing a high dive into like a fryer or whatever, and Patrick just like hits the fryer and like flings that at the audience, and they just turn into fish sticks, and I laughed really fucking hard at that.
Yeah.
It's really good.
He turns into an ice cream cone at one point, if I remember, like a chocolate dip.
The dip. Yeah, that was good too. Two Faces of Squidward is so fucking funny. Holy shit.
Yes. Such a good episode.
It's pretty funny the whole time, but then it gets really funny when they try to make him uglier, and he's just like crying while smashing Squidward's face with the door, and then he's even more beautiful at the very end. Oh my god. It's so good. Holy shit. That was the first one that I was just like, I wish all episodes were this quality, because this was great. That was one of my favorites for sure. That was paired up with one called like Spongehenge, which is just the weirdest concept. It's basically there's a lot of wind currently, and because SpongeBob is porous, the wind is going through his pores and creating like a melody that draws jellyfish to him everywhere he goes. And so it's such a weird concept for it. But the ending is amazing, because what he does, being annoyed by the jellyfish so much, is goes to hide in a cave where he builds a whole bunch of versions of him out of stone to like play music to draw the jellyfish away from him, so he can like live his life, and the jellyfish can be happy chasing like the Stonehenge. Essentially, this is why it's called Spongehenge, because it's Stonehenge, but like that's the big like laugh at the end, right? And it's just so weird because it ends with like this like 100 years in the future thing where this alien species is like, I wonder what it was made for or whatever. It's just such an odd ending that's like, holy shit, this is heady. I don't know.
I want to say Jumping to the Future is something they've done a few times as well, for sure.
Yeah. The Secret Box, I really loved this one where there's just a secret
box.
Patrick has a box with something in it, and it's driving SpongeBob crazy.
Okay.
That's the whole episode idea. And then I really like it because one of the goofs in it or whatever is, it could be this, it could be this. I wonder if it's this or whatever. And SpongeBob is getting nervous. He's like, maybe it's like an embarrassing picture from the Christmas party or something. And then like you find out that it is later. which is just so good. So that all being said, I finally watched Band Geeks, and I don't think that's a good episode until the end. The end is great. It's one of the best payoffs.
The end's pretty memorable, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the best
That's
payoffs.
the one that that's the one everyone recommends. That's the one I would recommend. I remember some pretty good stuff during it as well. Is mayonnaise an instrument? That's a classic line.
Yeah, I didn't find that funny. The only thing I found funny in it is that they made fun of oh my god, the Hindenburg crash where like fucking blimp is exploding. I don't remember why, but that was a pretty good gag. And then the ending is like the most memorable out of all of these episodes for sure, but I didn't think that episode was that great.
Okay.
Like as a whole. But man,
I'm trying to remember
those last few minutes are very good.
After we did the TDP Plus about SpongeBob, where we pretty much just talked about the show and not the game for the most part. And we were giving Paul the recommendations. I went to tell my girlfriend afterwards. I was like, "Yeah, we mentioned these ones," and she gave me her list of ones she would have recommended, and I can't remember any of them except for the instructional video episode. John, do you remember that one? Of like how to make a Krabby Patty?
Yes, that's a good one too. Where they're warning you about like to beware of plankton, like all that.
Yeah, that one guy keeps shouting "hoopla" until the dude throws a brick at his head.
Oh wow. Okay. I mean, it sounds like
I
my
can't
comedy.
remember the other ones she said, but anyways, are you planning to like continue and watch more SpongeBob?
Randomly, no. If people
are you gonna watch the new movie?
No, probably not. I don't know.
Okay.
If people like recommend specific episodes, I'll probably check them out here and there. I'm not gonna sit through like 10 seasons of the show. There's no fucking way. Maybe I might watch like that movie, the first movie, first of all, because I was recommended it. And then we could see where it goes from there. But
I think David Hasselhoff is in that one.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
Oh,
speaking of
I'm going to add on a little bit more to you. I played a little bit more of the game we talked about for TDP Plus after that, because I wanted to see what you were talking about. And for people that listen to that episode, you're right. The part with the ball is garbage. Holy shit, I fucking hate it.
Weird. Like it's weirdly hard compared to the rest of that whole game.
It's just annoying. It's just like you do a thing, then run to another part and wait, and then do a thing, and then run to another part and then wait. Like I didn't like that at all. But yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the only thing I'm gonna remember about that game a couple years from now.
And the Dreamland is great. I actually really liked the challenge of stuff in the Dreamland.
Sure.
It's too bad that it was only relegated to the last stuff like that. But yeah, SpongeBob was on the brain this week.
So speaking of cartoons, I wanted to give a quick recommendation for a new show I'm watching, and that is DC's Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I heard this is very good.
This is super good. So down here, it was only on DC Universe, which no one subscribes to.
Right.
No, I mean, no, yeah. That's why would you have that streaming service? And just recently, as of August 1st, it got put on HBO Max.
Okay.
Which like coincided with the second season coming out, or the second season came out recently.
Yeah. And I think it's also on Adult Swim or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. It would fit in for sure. But man, that show is absolutely hilarious. It is so good. Harley Quinn's voiced by Callie Cuoco, and Ron Funches is there as King Shark. He's fantastic. That show is seriously funny. Kite Man is fantastic every time he shows up. Commissioner Gordon is like this weird, sad drunk in every single episode, which is pretty good.
Yep.
There's this running gag that Batman just fucks bats all the time, which is also pretty good.
Why not?
Yeah, so if you have access to the Harley Quinn show in some way, I definitely recommend checking that out. I'm going through it right now, and I'm loving it.
Cool.
All right, but let's talk about some video games. This is the top-down perspective. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler.
It's also August 6th.
It is.
Yeah, and why don't we Why don't we talk about what I'm playing since I'm the only one that filled out the doc?
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
No.
Oh no.
Tell me. Tell me about it.
Are you free yet?
I'm free.
I'm proud of
Nice.
you.
Congrats.
I'm done. And like I finished that last DLC. I can definitively say, don't buy the DLC. It is not worth it.
That's too bad. It sounds like such a cool DLC when they're talking about Atlantis, so that sucks.
Yeah, you do get to go to Atlantis. I did do the stuff in Atlantis. Atlantis is fine, except so again, this last DLC is broken up into 3 chunks. That first one I complained that it had like a really grindy part. The second area, the underworld, did not have a grindy part, which was nice. The third one does have another grindy part, which is like, why don't you do everything again? It is not worth it. But you do finish the game, and this is like the third or fourth ending to this game I've seen at this point, and like the others, it's just a letdown, and there's no real closure.
Man.
And yeah,
sounds like you picked a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The gameplay's good enough, but like, I am free. I could delete the game from my hard drive. It's so good.
And from your brain.
I gotta say though, the like modern day stuff they do at the end of this one in Odyssey is so dumb and bad that I'm very curious how much they will even touch upon in Valhalla. Because like it is so weird. The character does some like just crazy out of left field personality switches that like all I can assume is, they're going to have to ignore a bunch of this. Also because a lot of it came from the DLC. But it was like pretty like big stuff. So I'm just so curious how they're going to handle it, or if they're just going to be like, I don't know, it's been 3 years and there's a new thing going on now. Yeah. But like I almost wonder like why even put any of this stuff in these games at this point, which to be fair, it's like less than 1% of the game is this modern day stuff nowadays. But anyway, I'm done. I'm not going to play that game ever again. I am completely free, and that's real nice. So I started back into Assassin's Creed Origins. No, I'm kidding.
I almost expected.
Yeah, I almost did too, honestly.
This has some weird Stockholm syndrome. There was a brief moment when I was nearing the end where I was like, I'm not gonna have to play this game anymore. Am I gonna miss it? And then I quickly was like, no, I'm not. I'm good. What are you doing? But anyways, let's talk about some new stuff. Specifically, I have played Fall Guys now, as it came out on PlayStation Plus.
Welcome to the club. What do you think?
Yeah, those servers are terrible. They're so bad right now.
Yeah.
That game did way better than I think they ever expected.
Way better.
I definitely see a lot of their like tweets popping up on my timeline. It was like the number 1 on Twitch for a few days. It had like 500,000 people watching that game. Super popular, but it really sucks because so a lot of the times you'll be playing and you'll just get disconnected from the server, and then your progress doesn't save to your account. Like at least give me the like points that I earned for the like level up thing.
If it disconnects you, you're fucked. You just wasted your time for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And there's been a few times where I've like done 2 or 3, and it was like that was probably half a level's worth of what is it? Fame? I think it's called Fame. But what's actually really annoying
Kudos,
me is,
I think, right? Oh, you're talking about the actual experience. Yeah. Well, either way, you lost both by being disconnected. So, yay.
But what's also really annoying is my girlfriend has taken to like it quite a bit because it's pretty simple to play.
Yeah.
But she'll like she's obviously struggling a little bit, so like anytime she finishes like a stage, it's like, oh sweet, this is great. And then when it disconnects, she's just like, what? Why am I even playing this? And I can just see that sooner or later she's gonna be like, I'm just not gonna play this anymore because I don't care enough. And it's gonna be like, no, I want you to play this game. So that's a little heartbreaking. But anyways, the music slaps.
It's very good.
That menu music is so good. Holy smokes, it's so good.
I have turned it off because I like to watch other stuff or listen to other stuff while playing at this point. But like, it's so good. That music is great.
It's really great for like, I just have like 10 free minutes. I'm gonna do a run. Just real bite size, especially if the server disconnects you. If the server disconnects you, that's even less time. So that's
hooray.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish when you finished and you can like spectate the other characters, I wish that was better because right now it's pretty boring. I wish you could do like a top-down look of the map and just seeing all the people, like spectate everyone at once, kind
that
of
would be
like
kind of cool.
mushing together. That'd be really great.
The spectate mode is kind of weird because you can't even look at nameplates when you're spectating through another person. So like a lot of times when you squad up with people, what if you lose, it's kind of fun to watch your buddies or whatever, see how good they're doing. And like I kind of want to see nameplates while I'm watching them, but like you can't turn it on, and that's kind of a bummer too.
What do you mean by nameplates?
Like hold down L2 and you'll see
L2 and you
name.
get to see everyone's username, yeah?
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
So but yeah, we're saying you can see that. You said you couldn't.
You can't in spectate specifically.
Yeah, it shows you who you're looking at.
No, you can't look at other people's name in spectate. You can see who you're looking at, but you can't see the other people through like the spectate mode or whatever, their name.
Oh, just the people that are inside that camera view, you mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It seems like a weird oversight.
Yeah, I haven't tried squatting up with anyone, so I don't know how really that kind of works.
It's good. It works well.
Yeah, tried it during the beta. It was fun.
Yep.
I almost also wish, even if they're not going to give me that top-down look, if they just like somehow, with AI or whatever, they could show me better highlights of the spectating. Because a lot of time it's like I don't want to watch this guy fall for a couple seconds or like run into a wall over and over. Like it's like show me the good stuff. I'm sure like show me like this one obstacle and let me look at all the weird stuff that's happening at this one obstacle, or like somehow algorithmically bounce around to like a kind of a highlight reel almost.
That'd be cool.
I am surprised there is no highlight reel style for that.
Yeah, true.
That would also be very cool for sure. Anyways, the costumes are cool.
Yep.
I only really have that wolf, which like everyone starts with, which makes the wolf less cool, even though I do like the wolf, but like everyone has the wolf. I got my eye on that dinosaur costume though. That one looks pretty good. The pigeon looks great, which I almost have that unlocked.
The pigeon's pretty fun. Yeah.
The French fries, that is a strong costume in my opinion.
That's a good one. Yep.
Yeah. But I think that's in like the food pack, which I'm not gonna pay for. But anyway, yeah, Fall Guys is real good. That is a fun game. It needs to stabilize sooner or later because every time it disconnects me, I'm like this close to being like, I'm not playing you anymore. Like you are losing me, Fall Guys.
So now we can have an actual discussion. What's your favorite game in it that you've seen?
Oh, that's a good answer. I can tell you. Okay, it's off the top of my head. Ones I don't like.
Yeah. That too. So.
A lot of the team ones.
Yep, I hate the team ones.
Ideal. Some of them are okay. The team one where you have to push the ball down the track to the finish line. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I like that one. That's true. I enjoy.
But it's also like you can't connect with the other teams until the end, which is kind of interesting. The one where you need to pull the balls to your side is infuriating.
I like that one better than egg. I kind of hate anyone that you grab, any game that you use the grab, because I really feel like people can grab me from a mile away, and I can't ever grab anybody even when I'm on top of them, because the server issues are so bad.
I haven't had that issue. To me, that just sounds like you're just kind of getting frustrated because you're losing, and you're like, well, the game's cheating, so I don't even want to play.
I mean, it does sound like that. There's literal video I could show you of somebody grabbing me from, like, not being anywhere near me.
Yeah, so. No, the grab is janky with
it's
the
bad.
server issues, though. I'm with Paul on this one.
Yeah.
I've only done the egg one once, but I've done the ball territory one a few times, so the ball one I just don't like as much.
Yeah.
Ones I do like, there's one where there's a series of walls, and inside of each wall there's like 5 walls. And only a couple of them will like open up when everyone runs into it.
Sure.
That one's pretty good.
I think that's called DoorDash.
It's something like that, but I kind of like anyone where it's like we have to kind of watch someone like sacrifice themselves.
Yeah,
Which continuing on, there's one that's like it's like all these tiles, and some of them will just disappear
God.
when you step on them, but some of them
Tiptoe.
will highlight if they're safe.
Yeah.
Something like, yeah. So it leads to a bunch of us like following each other and then getting as far as we know is safe, and then you can just tell everyone's being like, no, you go first.
Yeah.
No, you go
knocking
first.
each other. Yeah. That one is weirdly stressful to me.
My favorite moments in the game are when you can tell exactly what the people around you are thinking because they like stop running for a second. Because for the first half of every course, it's like just you are World War Z zombies.
Yeah.
And you were just like, go forward.
Yeah.
But when like if you're on like the seesaws and it's like, crap, we all gotta wait for this one thing to happen before we can jump. Like anytime where someone is like slowing down, I just love those moments because you just know like, oh, we're thinking the exact same thing right now.
Yeah.
Those are some pretty good moments.
Yep.
I don't think I have a highlight to which one I like the most. In terms of like final ones, the one where you have to like not fall down the different levels.
The hex
for
grid.
as long as possible.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's pretty cool. I like that one a bit. Have either of you guys won yet?
Oh, many times.
No, second or third is the best I've gotten.
I've never won on anything besides the hex one as the final game, though. I've never won the race up the mountain, and I've never won the one where there's only one tail and you have to end the game with it. I hate the tail ones in general.
I haven't seen that one before.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the tail one. I got that one, and I got the hex one, and I like the hex one a lot more.
Hex one I like, yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah, that's good. I want to see what support they add to this. I would love for them to just keep adding stuff in there.
They're already talking to a bunch of random people on Twitter about adding stuff. Like Walmart Canada messaged them and it's just like, how many tweets or whatever to get a Walmart vest as something for the Fall Guys.
Okay. Hey, I would wear a Walmart vest. That sounds bad.
Yeah.
On my little thumb looking dude.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah, good game. Speaking of colorful video games, I also played a bunch of Rocket Arena this week.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to, but I just didn't end up doing it. Is it good?
Yeah, it's fine. It's not great. I'll say that.
Okay.
Lackluster response.
Yeah, I think it's kind of just a lackluster game. So, obviously it's like heavily onto, rocket jumping, which I like never really even do. You don't really need to, but I guess you can. Maybe if you're really good, you're rocket jumping. You can like wall climb by shooting into the wall and bouncing up, which I still don't fully get. And it's also weird because a lot of the characters, their main attack is like a rocket blast, but some of them it's just a normal gun, and I don't think you can rocket jump with the gun, so it's like some characters seem better than others. Anyway, the primary mode is just team deathmatch, which I think I'm just at a point where I find team deathmatch super boring as a game mode. And they have two other modes. One is like a soccer mode, and the other one is basically King of the Hill, which I just like so much more because it's like an extra thing to do as opposed to just shoot the other teammates. Like I have like an objective to do.
Sure.
And I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, Overwatch didn't have any kind of team deathmatch, and it was always just like moving the payload and King of the Hill style stuff. And I think that's just way more my style. I don't care for team deathmatch like at all. And the primary mode on this one is team deathmatch. I'm also it's a hero shooter, but the characters aren't that different for the most part. Like they're not broken up into different classes. You can't play like a support class or a tank or anything like that. They're all just like, I'm a guy with a gun, and so am I. I'm also a guy with a gun. I'm a girl with a gun. Like they're not that different from each other. Like some will have like, I have a homing gun. I have like a bouncy gun. That's kind of about it. So, I played through like half the characters and I was like, I'm not really gravitating towards anyone, like, which is weird. Yeah, it's just not ideal. It has crossplay, which is nice. It does not have cross saves, which is that's just annoying to me at this point. Like, come on. And it makes this is an EA published game, so it makes me worried about Apex because I know Apex is adding crossplay. But it's like I really want cross saves, especially with like a Switch version coming out. Like, do cross saves, and I don't even understand why they're not doing cross saves. you have to tie it to an EA account. So just put all my progress on
Yeah.
the EA account.
That's true.
Why are you making it console specific? Yeah, I don't know. I can't really recommend it. That game has to go free to play any day now. I just know it. Like that thing is down to $5. I cannot believe they charged $40 for this game off the bat.
Yeah.
Can't imagine who bought that game for $40. But anyway, I guess when it is free to play, you check it out. But yeah, it's not great.
I was wondering, because like there is a time, it's a little weird, and this is a gray area. But I would usually rather pay $40 for a game and then know that it doesn't force me to do microtransactions to like get stuff. Does this have like free to play stuff in it already? Like, as it stands right now, is there like a weird chess system where I can put in real money to like get skins and stuff like that, or is that not in there?
Yeah, I mean it has microtransactions if you want skins and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, like it's pretty much similar to Fall Guys. Fall Guys has
to play, then.
a storefront. You can buy, coins to buy things out of that storefront. Rocket Arena has a battle pass from the get-go.
Sure.
The free battle pass is pretty empty. You can purchase the battle pass, and every level you're going to get a whole whack of skins and whatnot.
Right.
So it's your pretty standard, multiplayer shooter, heavy on the battle pass. There's a storefront if you want.
Yeah, doing that at $40, that is weird to me as well.
It seems old. Like it's old fashioned. I can't
is.
think of like this is a style of game that like just screams free to play. You're going up against things like Fortnite, Apex, Call of Duty Warzone. Like these are the same. I know those are battle royales, but
I mean, Rogue Company is like the newest one that's coming out. That's similar.
That's going to be free to play.
Like eventually. a shooty game.
Like it's like what game could get away with it? And I feel like the last one was Overwatch, and of making you pay, and then also kind of being one of these. Like how are these? I feel like the industry has just moved on to like, look, this needs to be free to play. And we're seeing that with the price of this one. It's a bummer that this game happens to be kind of middling. It makes me wonder, Overwatch 2, will that be free to play? Will that be a full price title again?
Yeah, I remember they talked about this, and I can't remember what it was, but it was kind of like, if you own Overwatch 1, you can play the maps.
You get it for free, yeah.
But you don't get
you didn't get Overwatch 2 for free. You got access to it was cross-play. But like all the new stuff was going to be in Overwatch 2, like the PvE stuff, wasn't it?
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah.
There was going to be some kind of like single player component or narrative component.
Yeah.
That's what you didn't get access to. I think you did get access to
all the multiplayer stuff. They didn't want to break up their PvP base.
And stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe even the new characters as well.
I think so. Like again, they don't want to break up their PvP base. So I think they're just giving that to everybody that owns it already.
Yeah. It's also weird, like crossplay, a bigger pool of people to play with.
Yeah.
I was primarily playing on Xbox. I don't think I played against a PlayStation player once.
Yeah.
Ever. Like that just you would think at least one would pop up, right? But so I don't know. I definitely played against a few PC people.
Sure.
And it does the annoying thing of like there's not enough filters.
Oh.
So there was no way to say like I'm fine playing with everyone as long as they're on gamepad. No, it's do you want to do crossplay or not?
Right.
Which is a bummer because I feel like the minute you're letting keyboard and mouse in there, you gotta like let me say like hang on a second, I'm not ready for that.
It just means
if they're using a gamepad.
Yeah, most games do go by gamepad and like do that. I bet this doesn't have the player base to actually support it. That's why it just paired you up with whoever was available. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Paul, did you play anything else?
Just Fall Guys.
John?
Not really. Played some Picross, that's about it.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, I guess a little bit more Paper Mario.
Sounds good. Then let's do some news because there's a bunch here. Paul, take it away.
Yeah. So it's almost September, which means if you're in China, the real
Tony Hawk is coming out. That's what
that
you're going with, right?
well that I don't know if that's actually coming out in China, but
well, in September. Right?
In September, yeah. In
Doesn't it
September,
feel like that game was announced like yesterday?
time this year has not existed for me. I don't actually know when anything is anymore. Honestly, it's been really bad. China's real name verification system is coming out next month. So, as everybody knows, or maybe you don't know and you're finding out now from us, China has weird laws when it comes to the gaming industry, doing stuff like submitting games or whatever and to different boards for the government to look over stuff and tell them what's okay and not okay, depending on whatever they feel like that day or whatever. This has been in the works for a while, where there's going to be a verification thing where you will have to have a real ID, like your ID, given to people if you want to play, and anyone under the age of 18 years old is now limited to, I think it's, hold on, I'm just looking it up here, not 90 minutes. So
okay.
An hour and a half on weekdays and 3 hours on holidays. So this is being put into effect because the Chinese government is scared that the kids are playing too many video games and they want to control the kids better.
I was hoping this story was going to go to like, we're trying to stop like people being trolls online, so you got to put your real name up there. And I was about to be like, cool, yeah, let's do it.
No, this is more like, we're worried that our kids are not going to be the best communists they can be, so we got to make sure they're in line. It's actually kind of scary. And then of course Tencent and NetEase being the biggest when it comes to the Chinese moguls or whatever in the video game industry. They already have their stuff set up, some of which games requiring facial recognition when you sign up. So they will literally verify you with a facial recognition scan, and then you can sign up for it. Yeah, weird. Who would have thought that China would have some weird issues when it came to anything? Go figure.
Yep. Weird.
Yeah. It's a little scary to think about how this might come over to us at some point when Tencent owns so many things and they have the ability to face scan you when you play your mobile device. I don't know. Just saying. In lighter news, Sean, you sent this to me and I was just like, we have to talk about this on the show because we mentioned it like literally last week. The carry-and switch picture was changed from a gross, bloody vagina thing to their logo, like to their main.
Yeah, boo, cowards.
I'm actually really glad they changed that.
They should have leaned into it. They should have like added teeth or something.
Oh no, that's so weird. So yeah,
don't listen to Sean. Don't listen to Sean.
Not a whole lot of news there. It was just funny.
What was the like straw that broke the horse's back on this? What made them finally be like, fine, we'll change it? Because like it was only on the Switch.
Complained.
The Xbox version was the new Switch logo, so they made a conscious decision on the Switch. We're going to be gross.
Yeah.
It's probably like it was an earlier submission or something like that, and they were just like, all right, well, I guess we have to stick with this for a bit, or like we'll just stick with it until someone complains enough.
Yeah, it might have something to do with like they only get to update on a Nintendo platform at certain times, and they waited for the first like patch or something that they were going to push. I don't know. It might be something weird and arbitrary like that.
Cowards.
Beyond Good and Evil is getting a Netflix movie from the Detective Pikachu director.
Cool. How about it get a second game?
That would be dope. Yeah. I just thought this was interesting because of course it is. Everything's coming out on Netflix now. Games don't exist anymore, just movies now and series. So, the future of gaming. In the controversial shit that happened this week and got people all ruffled up, the Avengers game.
I see what you're doing. That's a Mark Ruffalo joke. Got it. I picked up on it.
The best jokes are the ones you explain, for sure. The Avengers game is going to have Spider-Man, but only if you're playing on a Sony console, on a PlayStation.
Of course.
Yep.
Which means he's probably not going to be a good character either.
Yeah, I mean, you would.
Like
you kind of
watch it somehow be the best character in the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, honestly. So yeah, it's Spider-Man, for people who might or may not know, has been one of these weird.
He was a guy that got bit by a radioactive spider.
Right, Peter Parker.
He does whatever a spider can.
Yep.
Yeah. Spins a web any size.
The rights.
Now that you're caught up.
The rights to Spider-Man have been weird, we'll say. They were part of the Marvel is going out of business years and years and years ago sale, that when they were selling all their IPs out, and then Marvel made a big bad comeback, and now Marvel owns some stuff, Sony owns some stuff to use Spider-Man. Sony can decide who they lend out the rights to Spider-Man for certain things. It's such a clusterfuck, but basically, yeah, unless you're playing it on PlayStation 4, you will not basically have access to Spider-Man. But he will be a free update.
The only IP they have left, right? Like that they don't own, because they got Fantastic Four back and they got X-Men back.
Well, those were Fox.
Yeah, because Fox.
You're talking
bought it by Disney.
like Marvel Studios. Yeah, you're talking, and so again, you're talking like the movie rights, which are different than the video game rights.
It's weird, yeah.
But yeah, I think Spider-Man is just because that's part of Sony right now. Yeah, it's weird. I don't exactly know how to feel about this. Like you said, it was controversial because they're bummed about the exclusivity.
Yeah.
I mean, this having like exclusive characters isn't anything new.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd be a little past that, but you're right, it's not.
I think the only reason this one is so big is because like Spider-Man is like the most popular superhero.
He's frankly the most popular Avenger until the Avengers movies came out. He was
Spider-Man is still more popular than any like singular Avenger.
Probably. Yeah. I agree.
So I think that's the reason that people are getting kind of up in arms with this one.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, I don't know. They're actually getting a few other things, like they're getting beta access, Sony PlayStation users that the other platforms are not getting. There was like another thing, I can't remember the full list I had.
Yeah.
But the big one was Spider-Man. They also didn't even show what Spider-Man looked like, so we don't even know if it's the Insomniac Spider-Man,
right,
or a new Spider-Man.
I'm assuming it's not just going to be the Insomniac Spider-Man. That would be jarring, honestly.
Why would that be jarring?
Because it's a different company altogether. It's not even Sony. Like it's a second party company.
Well, it was a Sony exclusive. Don't they own Insomniac? Didn't they just buy them recently?
I think you're right that they got bought recently.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't even know what to think about that game.
Yep, me neither.
I don't know. I got in on the beta, so I just got the beta code today. So
did you guys see that screenshot that was going around this week with like 5 different currencies?
Yes.
No.
And it was just like, what am I even looking at? This menu screen is like a rainbow of mess.
A rainbow of mess.
That game also comes out in like a month.
Yeah.
So get ready.
Yeah. Other games that are coming out extraordinarily soon. Mortal Shell, that new Dark Souls-like game that is basically Dark Souls, comes out on Epic, PlayStation, and Xbox on August 18th, and next year on Steam. So, yeah. And more stuff that's coming out. They showed the Street Fighter 5 roadmap of stuff coming, and apparently somebody at Capcom remembers that Rival Schools exists, which is kind of dope.
Yep.
What is Rival Schools?
Also, Oro? Come on, that's great. This is great news.
Excuse me, I believe you should be excited about Dan getting re-added.
I'm not.
That's what I'm hyped for. I'm fucking hyped for Dan. Sean, Rival Schools is one of their older 3D fighters. It was like a mix between 2D and 3D. It's like
what does that have to do with Street Fighter 5?
One of the main characters, one of the more popular characters, is added as a new playable character in Street Fighter 5. It's Akira.
Okay.
Yeah, like next year, sometime. Summer 2021.
Yeah, so they're adding Dan, they're adding Oro, they're adding Rose, and they're adding Akira from Rival Schools. Yeah,
they're also adding a question mark character.
yeah. There's a fifth one they have not announced yet.
Yep,
it's Master Chief.
That's it.
You be really funny. Holy shit. So yeah, for
it's
people
that are Alive 4 again,
people into Street Fighter 5, you can get excited that more stuff is coming. Honestly, I'm more like, Dan makes sense. I never thought Oro would come back.
It's funny. It's funny seeing Dan is of all characters as DLC. To me, that's just hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. Pikmin 3 Deluxe is coming to Switch. So hold on. This is October 30th, and it's going to give multiple difficulty modes, a new side story mission featuring Olimar and Louis, and DLC, all DLC from the original release. The funny part,
DLC that game got.
The funniest part about this is that to make room on their digital storefront or whatever, they stopped offering this on Wii U. So,
which is weird, but at this point, who was going to go get the digital version of it?
I mean,
yeah,
that's the thing I've been seeing. I think making room is an extremely nice way to put this.
Yeah, it's like, a really gross thing in general.
It just seems like this kind of sucks.
Yep.
Because the Wii U version, up until they announced it, you could buy it on the Wii U eShop. It was $20. They announced Pikmin 3 Deluxe for Switch, $60 title, full priced. Stopped making the other one available. That's just a bummer.
Yeah, apparently you can't even get the DLC now because they deleted it off the store page.
Dope.
You can still download it if you had purchased it before. Like you didn't lose access to your copy or anything like that. But
sure.
Yeah, that just seems shitty.
Yeah, it does.
Like that's the equivalent of being like, hey, we have a new console coming out. Quickly destroy all copies of the old console's game right now.
Self-destruct mode initiated.
It's very like not consumer friendly. And like what's the case here that they're scared of? Someone being like, I totally forgot Pikmin 3 even existed. Good thing my Wii U is still plugged in. I'm gonna go play that right now. I'm gonna go buy it right now.
And even if that was the case, they're still getting the money for it. Like it's not like it's going to someone else.
Well, they want 3 times that. But like who is that person? How many people are actually going to be like, yes, that is what I'm going to do, and Nintendo sees that as such a loss of money that they're like, we got to take the bad will.
Yeah.
Believe me, it'll be worth it. We're going to save so much money this way. I don't know, man.
What I could see happening is somebody being like, oh, right, that game exists. Oh, I forgot there was DLC for it. I already have the game, so maybe I'll go pick that stuff up. Oh, no. I got to buy the new game now. I could see that's more the thing I could see of just being like, oh, right, I could revisit that. Nope. Not anymore. You can't. Unless you buy it again.
Yeah. I like that game. I'm curious, can you guys think, is there any other console exclusives that haven't made the thing besides 3D World? Is that it?
3D World, Star Fox Zero.
I guess Game
and
& Wario.
I saw Game & Wario, and I saw some people requesting the HD remasters of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
Those would be good. I'm surprised those haven't been brought over because they don't even use like any of the like. Do they use the stylus in any way?
No.
Or the multiple screen? Like the only one I could think of like would be hard is Game & Wario because it is one of like the only games on the Wii U that actually used both screens at the same time.
At this point, if you're gonna port Game & Wario over, you might as well just port it over as like a side content to a new WarioWare.
I think you would just have to make a new WarioWare because a lot of those games just would not work. I mean, I'm all here for a new WarioWare. Hell yeah.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, they did that 3DS one recently, so I think that's a ways off.
Sure.
But yeah, no, more or less like most of the stuff that's left has some pretty ingrained stuff. 3D World, Super Mario 3D
World.
That
was the one
that's been rumored for a while.
That's the big one.
Yeah,
and that was also part of the like that big leak, right, of all the older stuff,
which still has not been mentioned. So it's kind of losing credence at this point.
I bet that's gonna be one of those. And guess what? Galaxy's available right now, and the other ones are coming in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I bet that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And some people are saying Xenoblade X, but I don't know. That might have been an experiment that failed, I feel, based on all the online stuff that Xenoblade X had. But yeah, there's very few exclusives left, basically, is what we're getting at.
Sure. Cloud gaming. Xbox is coming to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate as one of the things on September 15th. So in about a
Project
month.
X Cloud is now Microsoft X Cloud. That's the official name.
Yeah.
September 15th. And it looks like it's not coming to iOS.
Right.
Which that's a huge bummer for me. I think that's a huge bummer for like everything, considering that would have been the biggest install base. So they're missing out on tons of those customers, which is a bummer for, both the customers and the company. They haven't come out and said, oh, sorry. Actually, they did recently comment on it. I remember following it a while, and a lot of people were speculating it's because of Apple's like taking a portion of cuts and stuff like that. And that's basically what it ended up being. Microsoft said, I'll just read the tweet here. In a statement, Microsoft accused Apple of treating gaming apps differently and said there's no path forward for bringing Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to iOS at the current time. Yeah, they basically just stopped any testing they did on it. I had the beta app on my phone, which was supposed to last, I think, until the end of the month, and they just cut it early as well.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a huge bummer.
So The Verge did an article on this. It goes a little further. I just want like people to know. I know you probably know this. It goes further than just like we don't want to give Apple money. It's actually that Apple has a whole bunch of stuff in its App Store guidelines that they can't adhere to, really. And if people want to read more about this, go to The Verge and look up this article about Apple Cloud Gaming. And they give like kind of exactly in the guidelines like what's wrong and how this is affected. Basically, Apple doesn't like the idea of apps that allow access to something that they can't control. They're okay with remote desktop apps where that app is just you connecting to something you as the owner own already. They don't like the idea of apps that connect to a third party's thing and they can't monitor or like have access to any of that stuff or whatever. So there have been apps that have worked around this. Apparently that shadow cloud gaming, we talked about this a little bit when we were talking about NVIDIA GeForce, where or GeForce Now, where GeForce Now and a lot of these kind of connect to a server where your games lie, and then you just kind of like can play them. The Shadow Cloud Gaming service actually just connects you directly to a computer that they own or like rent time from or whatever, and that's how they get around this weird like little thing. There's loopholes that they could do, but it seems like all in all, there's not enough loopholes for companies like Microsoft to be able and Google to be able to jump through to get their stuff to work properly, legally using the guidelines or whatever. It's kind of interesting to read about, and yeah, I don't know. It's just such a bummer. Like it's really one of those things. Is like I understand where Apple is coming from here, but also, like, I don't, Like, I understand why Apple wants a closed ecosystem where people aren't downloading stuff, but as an Android user, I don't agree with that sentiment. Like, just give people the ability to do this sort of thing. So, yeah, it's a bummer.
It's a bummer. It's also, Stadia doesn't have an iOS app.
Right.
Just not having an iOS app just seems like such a weird move. And obviously they would like one. I'm curious why they were able to get the test flight beta in there and then they had to stop it. Like what allowed some of it in. I don't know. I hope one day they can come to some kind of agreement because I would love to, take part in cloud gaming more. It's not a big issue for my life right now because I can't leave my apartment.
Right.
So I don't really need to cloud game at the moment, but I can foresee a future where cloud gaming would be awesome. But that is just for Android users.
Yep.
So.
Okay. So Sony came out with some info about compatible PlayStation 4 peripherals and accessories that will be usable and how on the PlayStation 5. So there is an official blog post on PlayStation.com that you could read this for yourself. I'll give kind of the overview. Specialty peripherals such as officially licensed racing wheels, arcade sticks, and flight sticks will work with PS5 games and supported PS4 games. Platinum and gold wireless headsets, as well as third-party headsets that connect using USB port or audio jack, will work on the PS5. The headset companion app is not compatible with PS5. The DualShock 4 wireless controller and PlayStation officially licensed third-party gamepad controllers will work, but only for PS4 games.
This is the big one. This is the one we should talk about a little bit more.
And it says only with supported PS4 games.
Supported PS4 games, right, yes.
I'm assuming that means the ones that they can get backwards compatibility working, right? Because they
in general,
said,
yeah.
I assume that's what that means, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That I think we need to compare that to what Microsoft is doing, where they're saying your Xbox One controller works on everything Xbox Series X, and then Sony is saying, no, you want to play PS5 games, you need a PS5 controller. I mean, hardware-wise, the only difference is the sense part, right? The rumble, and I guess the DualSense has a microphone built into it.
Yeah.
Which I can't see.
Those are the big things I remember, yeah.
Yeah, I can't see. I guess the because it has like the triggers have more feeling to them and stuff like that. I feel like all those things aren't like required to be able to play the game. They would just kind of enhance it. So this must just be a decision of like, no, we want you to use that new controller.
I could see some racing games requiring the specific triggers or something like that. But yeah, I think for the most part, you're correct that this is more, we want to make sure you're using this on this hardware together.
Yeah, I mean, I think the more consumer-friendly approach is like, hey, if you want the best experience, get this new controller. Trust us.
Yeah. It'll
change your life. But they're pretty similar. They have the same number of buttons, yada, yada, yada. You can still do this. We understand. Like, it just seems not very consumer-friendly, especially when comparing it to Microsoft, who's like, no, play whatever the hell you want. Play it wherever the hell you want. We just want you to play our games.
Yeah. Sony's not consumer-friendly, and they currently do not have to be, so we shouldn't be expecting them to, I guess. It would be nice, but fuck.
But fuck.
It's a bummer.
It is.
Like, I really like the fact that when I have a Series X, I already have like 4 controllers. Like,
yeah.
If I could have friends coming over, it's like, bam, I can play full multiplayer. Off the bat, let's go. Because it's typically hard for me to like purchase another controller, because that's like, I'm gonna use this like maybe once a month for a couple hours.
And that doesn't seem that it's like $80.
Exactly, and they're just getting more expensive, right? So the fact that Microsoft is like, from the get-go, you have a full setup of controllers. Nice, that's awesome.
Yep.
You know, it was great with the Switch that comes built in with 2 bad controllers. Because then you have some default. They're still controllers, right? You have some default multiplayer right off the bat. You do not need to buy another one. And then Sony's like, oh, for ours, you do.
Yeah. Their response is pretty non-consumer friendly too. So, will DualShock 4 work with PS5 games? The wording on this is like, no, we believe PS5 games should take advantage of the new capabilities and features. It's very much like, we want you to get the best experience. We don't care if it's going to cost you money. Like, they just straight out don't make any bones about it in their response. So
I can understand their side of it, and they want people to play it with the controller. It'll make them enjoy the game more, yada yada. But it would just be so consumer friendly if you let them have both.
Yep.
Like, anyone buying a PlayStation's going to have a DualSense. That second controller is just going to be for when I have a buddy over and we want to play with your console.
Right. Yep, exactly. Also, the PS4 Move motion controllers and the PlayStation VR aim controller will work with supported PSVR games on PS5. The PlayStation camera for PS4 will work with PS5 for playing supported PSVR games, but it will require an adapter that will be provided at no additional cost to PSVR users.
I'm gonna need that one. since I have the PlayStation VR.
Right.
That's one I kind of wish that they would require the upgrade, because those Move controllers kind of suck, and I would love, I guess I would just like better Move controllers.
Sure.
But anyway, again, it's a good thing that they're going to let me use them, and I don't have to buy something if I don't want it.
Sure. Yeah, agreed. Okay, this one was a little weird. So, do you guys remember how Intellivision was bought by Tommy Tallarico, and they were going to come out with that new system? Well, they had a presentation about that the other day.
Oh, no, I didn't realize this. I would have watched this.
It's an hour and 20 minutes long.
This thing looked like a train wreck.
So, oh my god. This is definitely a worse deal currently than the Ouya, but I'm saying that as this is not for, I'm not the demographic for this. So for people that don't know what this is essentially their take on a modernization of an old system, and the whole idea that they're trying to fill with this, and they really tried to push this in their presentation.
This is the Intellivision Amico, by the way.
Yeah, the Intellivision Amico. They want to fill the console gap in the market of a console you can play with like your family, with all kid-friendly games essentially. No blood, guts, and tits.
No, I got a
whatever.
Switch. I got no gap here. I got a Switch.
No, but this is you could okay. I'm not gonna bury the lead. This has official cornhole game, and I want it. All right, I want that game, and it's the only thing that they showed that I was interested in. So
did they show the new Earthworm Jim? Because they were talking about that also being a thing too.
They at the very end showed like a 2-minute little thing of Earthworm Jim.
That's the only thing that has any kind of like name behind it, is the Earthworm Jim one, which I don't know. Okay, Paul, tell me about what's so good about the cornhole. I like cornhole.
That cornhole, I just love cornhole. And like it looks like it's a motion control game. So it kind of looks like it's going to bring back that feeling of like Wii bowling or something. Like it would just be fun to play digital cornhole.
Wii bowling rocks. I feel like that is giving this thing too much credit.
Nah, cornhole is great. It's the only thing that I would maybe get this for. I was speculating about what the price was while watching this because I didn't know. And I was saying this would be an okay instant buy between 60 to 80 bucks. I would buy it. I would buy it at 100. And if you twisted my arm, I might push it to 150. This thing's $250.
Wait, what?
This is a console, of course it is.
This is a $250 console. To put it in prospects, I guess, or like perspective, that's $150 more than the Ouya, and it doesn't have Duck Game and Towerfall. So this thing's a loser. This is stinker.
I think you guys are bearing the lead on this. At the very end of this presentation, they literally roasted a controller on fire, and you can email within the first 48 hours of this video going, did you actually?
I did. And wait, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to give it to you for the museum if I get it.
Oh my god.
You didn't finish the story. What happens if you email?
So if you email the email address, I want that controller that Tommy roasted in the fire pit at intellivisionentertainment.com, you can have a chance of winning a burned Amico controller.
Yep. That's all it is. Yeah, that's it.
You gotta give them your name and mailing address, apparently.
Yeah. Okay, more about like the actual things going on with this thing. So this is a mini, kind of looks like almost like a phone cradle or something. If you ever had like a wireless phone growing up or anything, it kind of looks like that with 2 controllers that nest into it. And the controllers are an updated, almost iPod looking version of, they actually look pretty much like a big VMU if you were a Dreamcast fan.
Yep.
But
they've shown the console and controller before.
Yeah, but there's people here that in the chat literally saying like, "What is this?" or whatever. So I'm just explaining. Because it's a Intellivision Amico, not everybody cares. Frankly, not many people do.
This also got delayed to next year, right?
Yeah, so that's the
Yeah.
big thing. This was supposed to come out, I think, in like a month or something like that.
October, I believe, is what I heard.
10/10/2020. That was the date, yeah. So October 10th, 2020 was when it was supposed to come out. This was pushed until April of next year on 4/3/21, so April 3rd.
Nice.
Yeah,
I mean, they're definitely
Hell
doing
yeah.
it for the meme. Let's be real. They are
They are.
100% doing that for the meme.
they
Of
are.
course, they lit a controller on fire.
And it exploded. Why did it explode? Do controllers explode?
Because it has a screen in it.
Oh, the screen. That's right. It has a screen in it. Yeah. So the Intellivision back in the day had this weird shitty controller with a wheel and stuff like that. They're kind of doing the same idea. They have said that they want to get a bunch of these like quote unquote new games, which a lot of them are just rehashes or like modernizations of the old games, with really shitty art styles that look like bad iPhone games. And then they're going to release like the originals or whatever, like later on they're planning. Maybe if the company still exists after this, who knows? Some of the games that they revealed, they have a new Battle Tanks, which is cool. Battle Tanks is fun. Most of these, I'll say, are 4-player games. Like these are, you can play them single player, but a lot of these are going to be.
Manly, right?
These were made
4-player. I thought it only came with 2 controllers.
Yeah, a lot of them are 4-player for whatever reason. So I'm guessing maybe more controllers.
Just like
can come.
Sony, they're gonna make you buy more controllers.
God damn you, Tommy!
Are you telling me my old Intellivision controllers are not gonna work on this one? Because if so, this is classic Sony move right now.
I mean, you can't remove your old controllers from the system, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Just plug one system into the other one.
That's probably what they're gonna do.
Okay, so no details have been shared about this, but Sesame Street games will be coming to this thing. Battle Tanks, I think is a good get. That's a fun multiplayer game. Some Intellivision board games, which are Ink and Gold or Diamat. I never know how to pronounce that.
All those classic board games.
Blank Slate and Telestrations. There's an official Hot Wheels game. They're partnering with Mattel for it, and they didn't show anything about it. All they did was have somebody that used to work at Mattel that now works at Intellivision say that, yeah, we're doing something, basically, but Hot Wheels is there. Monster Spades, which is apparently a classic card game that I've never played. It's gonna be a digital version of that made by the Uno people, or people that made the game Uno. There's a game called Breakout, which is made by what?
Breakout was an Atari license, I believe.
Yeah.
Just Breakout? Because Breakout's great.
I looked at the footage. That looks like Breakout.
Yeah, it's Breakout made by the Bit Trip people, I believe. So it's neat. It's neat looking.
So Bit Trip beat.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was just basically Breakout.
Honestly, pretty much without the beat. So less cool.
Yeah, that is. Well, I mean, I still like Breakout. So
sure. The original dude, I believe, that made Missile Command is making another Missile Command for this thing. Yeah, I don't know. Cool. Liar's Dice is...
Who's buying this thing, man? Is this just like your dad is going to pick one of these up?
This is the type of, like... So when I was talking with people about this game, this is not... People, like, listening to us right now, or, like, are on Twitch, or, like, YouTube, or any of that stuff. This isn't for you, right? This is for, like, somebody... A dad is going to pick this up to share with their, like, 5 and 6-year-old kids, and, like, maybe wife or whatever, for, like, every now and then family game night, right? Instead of the board game, we're going to break out the Intellivision Amico to play Breakout or something. I don't know. This is, like...
Tom, are you getting one of these?
I'll look into it. But, like, I feel like that's a side thing. Like, I might be in the target market because I'm the kind of guy who would actually, like, show it off.
Yeah.
If I'm lucky, I'll get sent, like, a demo unit or something.
It's weird because I don't want this thing, but I want Tommy Tallarico to be happy, so I want to give him money.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that's one reason to want it to succeed.
He's just so, like, honest and as a person. Like, you can tell he really, really loves the idea that he owns Intellivision, and he's stoked about this thing. And, like, when it fails, he's probably gonna cry. And it's gonna
Remember
be
when
so
he was part of Video Games Live?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he ran that.
Yeah, the music orchestra. And there's also the Atari thing also being made at the same time right now, right? Whatever that one's called.
Oh
Yeah.
That has like the wood panel model as well.
This has a wood panel model as well for pre-orders.
Okay.
Uh-huh. About the specs and whatever. 32 gig internal storage, doubled from the announced 16 gig. More storage can be added by micro SD card, and games apparently will be between 300 megabytes to 1 gig in size. Somebody else was saying that the games are going to cost like a few bucks, like single digits, which makes sense because they're basically apps.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. And yeah, the big thing is they showed off a 2-second reel, basically, of Earthworm Jim running down a beach or across a beach, and nothing else. And
nice,
because Tommy worked on Earthworm Jim, they have a bunch of like the original Earthworm Jim team doing this, including the creator, who I'm not a fan of. So
yeah.
So I don't know about this one. I am interested to see that they brought this series back. So so that will be exclusive for people that are Earthworm Jim fans. You will have to buy this thing to play it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Weird. Okay, moving on. This is just so we all know Riot sucks. We all know they have problems. This is just a good practice. I think I hope like the game industry does. Riot's taking a week off. They're just closing for a week to give people some like relax time and recharge. I hope this happens just more often. It's honestly one of like the few good things I've heard about Riot in a while, so it was worth mentioning.
Wait, is it paid?
See, that's what I've been trying to.
Or are they just saying you guys can't have a paycheck for the next week? Because
No,
that's not great.
No, I think it's paid because they're taking it off. Like they're not they're not firing everybody for a week and then rehiring them.
Well, I mean, I wasn't implying firing. I just was wondering, like, are they paying people the time? Like, is it paid time off, or are they just like, we're closing for a week?
Yeah, no, I think it is.
I also don't like.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't understand why this is a big deal. These people have PTO; they can take a break whenever they want, theoretically.
I don't know if you're joking.
Does not allow.
It's
not like Riot doesn't.
No, the game industry
PTO.
in general doesn't allow people. They do things to make sure people don't take time off. That's the whole reason crunch and shit is bad.
Well, yeah. I mean, during a crunch scenario is different, but it's not like they're not getting PTO for the most part.
When is there not crunch time when you have the biggest game on the planet?
Yeah, remember League is always running. Like,
I
it's
guess
an always active game.
Running.
And
then obviously Valorant's running now.
Yep. And the other thing they're doing that I don't remember the name of.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, they have like 5 games going now, don't they? They had all those like Project A, B, C, whatever.
More than anything, I just hope this like does something to the gaming industry where maybe more companies are like, you know what, everybody just like take some time off. We'll see you next Monday. We need to chill a little bit. This was submitted.
I guess I have to look more into this, but I feel like if this is their answer to like, hey, we've been crunching a bunch, so let's just take a week off and then get right back to crunching. I think I'd rather just stop crunch.
Cynically, I think the reason why this is to stop like bad PR from people writing about them for a little bit. Like, let's just be out of the spotlight for a bit.
Probably, sure. Yeah.
This was submitted in the Discord. Halo multiplayer will be free to play on Xbox.
This is a big deal. I had this collected as well. Yeah, just the multiplayer. It's also going to support 120 frames per second on the Series X.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is a lot. That's a lot of frames.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, currently, Xbox, even free to play games require Xbox Live Gold.
So
I'm wondering, how that'll be affected on the Series X. There was a bunch of rumors going around this last week where people were thinking, seems like Microsoft's really hinting that Xbox Live Gold is going to be going away.
I saw those rumors. They officially said that's not anything.
That's true. They came out and said we don't have any plans to change it as the time being. Which, for all we know, maybe they actually do have like an announcement coming. You know, we're still a couple months away from the Series X, so who knows? But either way, that's a good way to get everyone in on the ecosystem. This game's already going to be on Game Pass.
Yep. Also submitted.
I'm also curious. Isn't this whole game a multiplayer game? Isn't that the whole deal about it?
It's got a single player too.
Well, I was under the impression it's a Destiny-like, i.e., you could play it single player. You could also just play it in co-op. So maybe it's just like the competitive multiplayer is the free-to-play part.
Wait,
not
did
the,
they
like,
use the
story
word
mode?
multiplayer in this tweet? Oh, I see. Okay.
It's just the multiplayer is free to play, yeah. So I'm curious what actually is the multiplayer composition they're breaking out as free to play.
When I saw people talking about this, they were using the term PvP, not multiplayer. Because you're right, there is the like weird open world multiplayer thing. I don't know.
So that makes I'm assuming it is like the PvP.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They're gonna have their death matches.
Yeah. I agree.
That's weird. I can't think of a lot of games where it's like, here's the paid part, and then the multiplayer is broken out as a free to play thing. That's definitely weird.
Yep. This was also submitted. To the Moon trailer. To the Moon 3 specifically. Imposter Factory trailer is out.
Hell yeah, and more To the Moon. I haven't played that second one yet, Finding Paradise. But that trailer, man, that music's still so good. I need to get on that.
Sure. And coming up to today, State of Play happened. Sony had
some of the biggest news.
So I did not pay attention to this at all. So I'm curious what in the world actually got announced here.
Yeah, I actually think this was
okay,
worth watching. I went into this. They had said like, hey, it's just going to be on PS4 and PSVR games. No PS5 news. Setting expectations.
Well, they said it was all their third-party partners and stuff. This wasn't going to be their main shit that they're talking about.
Right. They actually did talk a good chunk of some PS5 games.
That are coming.
But anyways, the games they did talk about, I got pretty excited from some of this stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this article's in order, but they started with Crash 4.
Yep.
Just more Crash. Yeah.
They talked more about it. Basically, that the different masks and how they're going to affect the gameplay and the levels. One that'll. What was that game, Metal Storm or whatever? Where you change gravity on the NES, going up and down on the roof.
That's Metal Storm.
There's going to be levels where a mask power basically gives you that. Another one is you can phase shift platforms and stuff in and out at will to do platforming and blah blah blah. It's worth taking a look at if you're super into Crash. I mean, I'm just gonna play that game when it comes out. I'm excited for it. So this got me more excited for it, for sure.
After that, Hitman 3, they show that it has a VR mode.
Yep.
Okay. I don't think I would play that game in VR, but
I'm sure someone would.
So the VR mode is for missions from the previous games also.
Oh.
Okay.
So yeah. I wouldn't play it that way either.
Have the assets ready.
Those are still good missions.
I wouldn't do it either.
I wouldn't do it either. This next one was kind of surprising. Braid Anniversary Edition.
Yep.
They've basically redone all the art in Braid. This is coming to everything, by the way. It also has a bunch of developer commentary in it. Sure.
Getting a question in chat. Hitman 3 is not VR only, but this has a VR mode. That will obviously be VR only.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. It was weird seeing Braid again.
Yeah, it was super weird. Like when it showed up, and I was like, this looks like Braid?" And then it was Braid. Yeah, that was weird. I like Braid. I don't think I would play through it again. But,
I wouldn't.
I mean, maybe.
There's developer commentary on it. I would look at that for sure.
That's early 2021. It showed off a bunch of Pathless, which still just looks fantastic.
It's a very nice looking game. They showed off that the whole idea is the movement in this game is based on you getting like speed boost from shooting these little like nodes or whatever, and it's more like a timing based thing than actually aiming and shooting them. So you shoot them to go faster or whatever, which I was kind of like, okay, that's cute, but who cares? And then they showed like a thing where you're chasing like a monster, and it's fucking awesome. Like, it looked really cool. I was like, okay, I get why this movement stuff is cool, because they're actually doing gameplay stuff where you need to be good at it or decent at it, and that's neat. This game looks neat.
The lighting and art in this game looks so gorgeous, man.
Yep.
Some of those battles. Then they gave a release date for Spelunky 2.
This is what I live for.
15th.
Yeah, next month.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. I'm so ready. I've been waiting.
That was just a super humble trailer with just Derek Yu talking about it and showing a lot of ways you can die.
Yep.
So it's Spelunky.
It's Spelunky. Yep. For sure.
Some smaller stuff. Genshin Impact. I don't think I was paying attention for this.
This was very bright anime game.
I think I was in the bathroom during this.
Okay.
This looks like an anime game.
It's a very bright anime game. It looks okay. It looks fine. I probably won't play it. Aeon Must Die looked great.
You guys need to check out this trailer. The music, the way they had this trailer going was just, I don't know, epic is the word. This is just a cool trailer.
It's very
really
cool.
Interesting art style. However, if we take a step back, this kind of popped up on Twitter afterwards. Apparently, all the devs of that studio quit like last week due to crunch and a lack of payments, and this trailer was outsourced to just like some random contractors.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So again, the trailer is very cool. Let's wait until we see what the game is.
This game has no developers anymore. They all quit.
Yeah.
There's this crazy tweet that is linking to a bunch of to a Dropbox account with a bunch of info, just listing off all the weird work conditions that were going on. I didn't really go through the Dropbox. I was just kind of looking at the screenshot. I like that this tweet tagged Jason Schreier, because that guy's going to go through this Dropbox, and I'm excited to read that guy's article.
Yeah.
That was just a weird thing, because I came out of this thing being like, yo, Aeon Must Die looks rad. Oh, wait, they all quit because that place sucks. What?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I still think you should check out that trailer, and you should watch this space for what happens next with Aeon Must Die.
Yeah. Well, yeah, weird. Then they showed a game that I was kind of like, okay, pass, until like they showed more of it, called Anno Mutationum. It was just a girl running for a while, and I was just like, oh, I don't care. And then they showed that it's actually like a 2D like hack and slash type game, which is in my wheelhouse. So I'm looking forward to this, basically.
I think it has a cool art style. Like I was still into it at the beginning, just running around. I think it looks really cool. But yeah, I want to see more for sure. Then we got some more bug snacks. I'm talking about bug snacks.
Okay.
You guys talking about bug snacks?
No.
Looks interesting.
I still think it's cursed.
Oh, bug snacks looks fantastic. They showed a little bit of what kind of the gameplay is and how you'll catch those bug snacks. And bug snacks is great.
Yeah. Then they showed Star Wars Vader Immortal, which launches
coming to PSVR. That's already a VR title that is very popular.
Yeah. So that's coming in a few weeks.
August 25th specifically.
And then I audibly screamed when they finally gave a date to Control's next expansion.
The Alan Wake expansion.
Yeah, the AWE. Aw. And it's soon.
When this showed up, I didn't, because they don't tell you what it was first. But with the art style, I was like, this looks like Control.
And then it said Remedy.
Yeah. Then it did say, but you also hear Alan being like, just make sure you stay in the light. And I was like, hell yeah, my boy.
Yeah. Yep.
I've been more excited. In fact, I'm playing through Control on the Xbox right now.
Yeah, I saw. I was wondering if you were doing a thing specifically or just we're having fun.
That game just rocks. That's the specifics to it.
I mean, you don't have to tell me, man. I was like depressed when I was done the first DLC. I was like, I need more control, and went back and like looked for missions, and there's
We got in
none.
the chat. Wait, is it actually Alan Wake? Yes, Alan Wake is in this next DLC for Control. He's also in the core game in some like fun Easter eggy ways.
Yeah.
But this next DLC is specifically about Alan Wake.
Yeah, it's straight up like the logo from Alan Wake, like the cover art of it.
Yeah,
and didn't they even show Alan Wake in the
trailer? Showed his face. Yeah. His face is right in there
for like a split second or whatever. At some point.
Yep. Yeah. I'm excited. August 27th. So I got my work cut out for me. I got to play through that and the first expansion.
Did you never finish it? I thought you did.
I haven't done the expansion. I finished the main expansion game, but now that I'm going through it again, it's like, I want to finish it and do all the other stuff.
Totally. I feel you, man. Auto chess is coming to PlayStation 4 on October 31st.
That makes sense.
This I thought looked kind of cute. So there's going to be a weird platforming game called Pedestrian.
I'd say it's more of like a
puzzle platformer.
Game, but I guess it's a puzzle platformer.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of Framed, that comic book strip game where you would move the tiles around so that the characters could progress correctly. This looked kind of more puzzle-like. Like the puzzles would be a little deeper, but it was definitely like moving signs around so that like the walking logo man from the crosswalk can like get through these weird scenarios.
Yeah.
But there's also like an element of 3D of like you're moving from one side sign down the street to another sign. I don't know. Seemed interesting. I like Framed, so.
Yeah, man. They showed a game called Hood, Outlaws and Legends.
I goes to the bathroom again for this.
That game first of all, what they showed doesn't tell me anything about how the game is going to be played, except for it's a like action game where you control a class of character.
Through this, and I've gotten nothing from it. Medieval, and there's blood.
Medieval, yeah. So it looks like you can play like a fighter class, a rogue class, that sort of thing, and it might have PvP. I can't tell because in part of the trailer, it's like the people that you thought were the party or whatever get ambushed by another party. It's like, oh, is this like a PvP thing then? This thing kind of showed nothing, but it kind of looked fine if you like medieval stuff. So we'll see.
I'm seeing in the chat, Pedestrian has been out on Steam since January.
Oh, nice.
And that is true. Wow.
All right. How much is it?
It is $20 American.
Sure. Okay. The other thing they showed is that Temtem is going to PlayStation 5. So these are I guess I should say, these are the PlayStation 5 games that they showed that are coming to PlayStation 5. Hood and Temtem. And they kind of didn't show anything about Hood.
The previous ones are also like Pathless is a PS5 game. So is Bugsnax.
Yeah.
They were kind of going back and forth a bit.
And then
they finished with a bunch of Godfall.
Yeah. So that game definitely looks kind of like it's basically medieval-ish melee Warframe. And that's fine. That's probably...
Do you guys have the tweet that Randy Pitchford took out that everyone's making fun of today?
No.
The one that's describing what Godfall is?
No. I'm interested in this, though.
I don't really follow Randy Pitchford on Twitter for...
Yeah, I fucking hate him. But like, I'd be interested to see what he says.
He made some tweet that everyone's been making fun of.
Sure. I mean, he's
tweet
a joke.
of the week.
Yeah, tweet of the week.
I can't. I'm trying to find it right now, and I think I'm not gonna be able to find it quickly, knowing me.
Okay. I will just say real quick that Hood. What's that game called again?
Hood.
Legacy and
Heroes and Thieves. Wait, what is it? Yeah, Outlaws and Legends.
Hood, Outlaws and Legends just sounds like a bad game's title.
It's not great. Yeah.
No, I can't find it. I can just find everyone making fun of it, but I can't find the actual tweet. Never mind. It's not important then. But yeah, basically, Randy said something stupid again.
Cool. Well, I mean, this is the news section, so that's where you got to talk about this stuff. But now we're going to questions.
No, actually, I got one last story that apparently broke since we've been podcasting.
Okay, let's do it.
I already said questions.
No, too late. No, that's not how it works. I didn't say in my PO box. We're fine.
Okay. Okay.
Apparently, in the United States, Donald Trump, the president, has signed an executive order banning TikTok in 45 days. And also any financial transactions between the owners of WeChat, ByteDance, and Tencent.
Okay.
Yeah, I was seeing that. I hadn't mentioned it because I wanted to kind of do some more reading about it.
Yeah. And for those who are wondering why we're bringing this up, Tencent specifically owns all of Riot Games.
Yep.
A good chunk of Supercell games, 40% of Epic Games, an unknown amount of Activision Blizzard, and 5% of Ubisoft, alongside a bunch of other games. And they distribute a lot of games in China like Rocket League, PUBG, NBA, 2K, and FIFA Online. So I don't know the full details of this. This is still breaking, but that is a big deal.
Yeah. Riot's fucked. I think anything where Tencent owns less than the majority might be able to skirt away. Yeah. In the case of like Epic, they've made enough money after Tencent invested in them. They could probably just pay out Tencent and just be like, we're done with you at this point if they needed to. So I'm not too worried about them. Ubisoft is like 5% is fucking nothing. Also, I believe they're Canadian based.
There's also people are reminding me that they just recently announced that Nintendo MOBA. That Pokemon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh man.
That was going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of waiting to see if that'll actually do anything. I have a feeling it won't.
So here's the thing about capitalism. There's always a way around this stuff. And when you have the money for lawyers and greasing pockets, you can usually get things done your way.
Oh yeah, they'll likely be fine, but it's going to be an interesting legal battle upcoming. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Curious to see what's going to come out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely interesting. Riot is the big one in that, though. Like,
yeah, because 100% owned.
And their whole business model is we don't give you everything in the game. You have to buy it from us. So, weird. I don't know. We'll see.
Let's do some questions. topdownperspective@gmail.com is the email address, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. This first one from Suku says, what's a video game song that randomly pops in your head from time to time? Mine's that one Mario Paint demo song with the baby noise.
You know what? That's a good one. I'll give him that. That's a good one.
That's pretty good. That randomly pops in my head?
Dr. Mario.
Oh, yeah.
Chill. Yeah, chill randomly pops in my head.
Is that like? Is that the one I'm thinking of? The doot 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 doot.
No, that's Fever.
Okay.
Chill is doot 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 doot.
Oh, okay. For me, Fever then is definitely mine. Where it's just like that just pops in my head sometimes.
Same with the Tetris theme. I'll give it that too.
Tetris theme. Yep.
I don't get a lot of video game songs in my head. I'll get regular songs in my head, but yeah, Bugsnax theme pops in there.
Uh-huh.
I almost said the Twin Peaks theme. The Deadly Premonition.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Life is Beautiful.
Life is Beautiful. Yeah. Sometimes the Ace Attorney
Cornered.
When you which one?
Cornered, the one like the doot 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 doot.
No.
Like that one?
Sorry, yes. I'm thinking more of like the chorus of that song. That's the part that pops in my head because that's my ringtone.
Ah, okay.
But yes, that one for sure.
There has to be. I'm just trying to think. Oh my god. I'm just trying to remember the name of it. The song. But the running around at the speed of sound.
Escape from
places
City.
to go. Yeah, escape. Yeah. That always just pops in my head. Randomly.
That used to be my alarm. That used to be my alarm.
Ugh. Gross. That'll wake you up.
Yeah, that was the point.
All right, Hebrew Lantern says, Sean's catchphrase is I play games. What are the catchphrases for John and Paul?
I'm not even saying shit.
So
I think I have a wiki entry somewhere that probably has all mine.
the Discord answered yours, and yours is I buy games, I think, or I own games. It's one of those.
I hope the I think is part of it. I hope the I think is part of it. Like, I'm not even sure myself. I buy games, I think?
I think it's I own games was the one that they came up with, which I was just like, that's pretty good. And then I couldn't think of one for me.
I feel like yours is fuck this.
Yeah. Sure. I'm down with that.
VGC Kenny writes in and says, if you were offered the ability to always win in every video game you played, would you take it? This is a guarantee. No monkey's paw at all. No genie shenanigans. Nothing of the sort. You just are offered the ability. Yes.
It's for genie shenanigans in high school.
I absolutely would, because this is a moneymaker.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is literally like you've basically just guaranteed your financial future.
Yeah.
No, what? You got this? No. No,
Yes.
You don't want this. Games would become trivial. You wouldn't have fun anymore.
Welcome to streaming, I guess.
I would get a new hobby.
So that's the thing. If I could win at Fortnite all the time, I would make all the money.
It'd be so boring. You wouldn't want to play anymore.
Then I would just get a new fucking hobby.
No,
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
telling you, you don't want this.
I'd be fucking rich. I wouldn't give a shit.
This is like a Midas touch scenario where you're gonna have too much gold. This is not. You don't want this.
No,
you're not.
This is one of the situations.
Only video games. It's specifically video games. Like, you would just get into like tabletop games, something with like a random chance to it instead at that point.
But I like video games. I'm not looking to ruin that hobby.
Yeah, I like video games too, if you haven't noticed. I'm perfectly fine with this.
I'm telling you, you don't want this. Why would you want to ruin what is theoretically a hobby you love?
See,
because I already did that. It's my job.
I understand where Sean's coming from. The problem is he doesn't have the galaxy brain explosion happening that John and I have right now. Of how this could be exploited to millions of dollars.
Winning all the time would get boring. Not having any kind of a challenge would be boring. You guys specifically
it doesn't
like
say that there wouldn't be any challenge. It says that you always win.
That's implied, isn't it?
I get Sean's point on this one. Like, if it's implied you always win, then there is technically no challenge.
Yeah.
No. I think it just means that no matter what, at the very end, one-on-one, 100 people are dead, and the last guy's there, you're just gonna win that time. You still had to get to that point.
I still maintain I am more than okay with this ability. I would just get a new hobby. It's not that hard.
Agreed.
Why would you want?
You would be guaranteeing your financial future. You could literally go to any like Fortnite tournament and win a fucking $1 million.
It's so weird that out of the three of us, Sean's the one that really, really likes story more than a lot of stuff in games. I'm surprised he's taking this approach. You're still gonna get the story, like. you don't play a whole lot of multiplayer.
I'm not going to games just for the story. Like, I do like story in games.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the challenge, and I like many different things about games. I could just watch a movie if all I wanted was let's have a good story right now. I could just read a book.
Yeah,
reading a book is not challenging. But yeah, I think it would trivialize, because again, I don't think there would be any challenge, even if you come across a hard boss or at a 1v1 and you're like, well, no matter what, I know I'm going to win, so I don't need to take this seriously. It would trivialize any kind of competitive encounter you come across, and I think that would just be boring. People, like, if you did go to all these tournaments, eventually people will not want to play with you.
Doesn't matter, though. Until you get banned, I guess. I wonder if they would ban you just being like, no, he can't lose, though. They would definitely investigate you for cheating, like, every time.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that. You're not going to be able to play games with your friends anymore because they don't want to play with you because they can't win. Like, what's the enjoyment of that? I think you would ruin this hobby.
Get into fucking board games or D&D and shit. Like, there's options.
I guess I'm in a mindset where it's like I like games too much to be able to throw it away so fast.
Because I don't.
You clearly do.
In this room,
you're literally saying, "Oh, I could just take it or leave it. I'll just get a different hobby."
I could literally take it. No, I'm saying that. I'm saying that I love games. If somebody said you can't ever play again, I can do that. That's fine.
Oh, there you go.
I'm literally saying that.
I agree to disagree. I think this sounds like a nightmare. This is almost getting to the point of like, how would you like it if none of the games were fun anymore?
I've hit points where that has been the thing, for sure.
All right, Rinku writes, "Who's a character you just want to punch in the face, with the exception of Sonic and any of his stupid friends? They're a freebie for you."
Wait, what?
I agree. Sonic and his friends are the free space in bingo. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
A character you want to punch in the face. Okay.
Whoever the what was the guy's name in the recent Pokemon game, Your Rival? He sucked. That guy was a loser.
Oh, the kid, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're all kids, but yeah.
That specific kid.
That specific kid. Yeah, punchable for sure.
I didn't think he was that bad.
Claptrap. I fucking hate sassy robots in general.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, Claptrap
sucks. Claptrap's going to be in that movie, right? Like, there's no way you make a Borderlands movie without Claptrap.
Probably.
Of course, he's basically the mascot.
True.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to suck.
Bubsy.
Bubsy, also good choice.
I
don't know. I think that's pretty. It's a
yeah,
pretty good
those are
gamut
good.
right there.
Okay. Boko says, what scene from any media, TVs, movies, games, can you quote back perfectly? Simpsons. Like, any Simpsons from in the 90s, basically.
Simpsons literally just has a chunk of my brain.
Yep.
Taken up.
It's such wasted space, but it's there, for sure.
I don't know, speak for yourself. Me and my wife bond over Simpsons quotes. Come on, Sean, there's got to be something.
I mean, there's not a lot of stuff that I like watch or replay or redo in some way. Like a lot that I have them down. There's definitely like a lot of movie scenes I can look back to and I'm like, oh, I love this scene, but I can't recite it. So I don't think I have a good answer. In Avengers 1, when he says I'm always angry and then punches that big flying thing. That's a good scene.
That's a good scene.
That's a great scene. I get chills every time I see that scene.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
All right. Cool. Linebeck writes in and says, "What's a game that upon completing you liked a lot, but upon reflection you don't like as much anymore? An example: Persona 5 has become this for me since I beat it in 2018 after I thought about its story and characters more."
Yeah.
I went through this with Ocarina of Time and Final Fantasy 7.
Okay.
But that is a discussion I've had in the past about the games feeling obsolete compared to their sequels, and that's just a different discussion altogether. But yeah, I would say those two for me.
Sure.
Final Fantasy 7 I come back around on since the way that the JRPGs kind of went for a while, and Mario 64 also kind of has that spot now.
Sure.
For those ones specifically, because you're picking a lot of older games, is it just because they are old and they just don't hold up?
More or less, that is the argument I'm going with.
Yeah, because that's like, a lot of games are going to feel like that.
Yeah, but yeah, my discussion was mainly like, I feel like they've been made obsolete versus like what's the word I'm looking for? Obsolete versus just not being good games. But that's just again, this is a different discussion that I've had on my stream numerous times.
It comes down to like, what is a better game, Mario 64 or like Odyssey? And it's like, well, how can you even compare those two things? They're from they're from two completely different.
Well, that's
eras.
the thing. It's so hard to go back to the old game because of the new game, so it has become obsolete.
Yeah, right. Like, and I couldn't recommend Mario 64 to like, a kid now. They're gonna hate that.
Yeah.
And they're gonna think I'm crazy for thinking it was good.
Sure.
So then, by definition, does this game can it only be like a couple years old so that it is in no way obsolete?
I think that depends because there's some NES games that still hold up. The argument that I go through, the obsoleteness, almost always exclusively is in that early 3D area, the N64 and PS1 era. Like Metal Gear Solid holds up as a story.
So this is actually my answer.
Sort of, yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 4, I fucking loved that game after I finished it. Until I thought about the story.
Play that again.
As soon as I thought about the characters in it, everything about it is fucking garbage. But like when you're playing it, it's really fun.
Yeah, you know, I'm with you on this one, Paul. Metal Gear's gonna be my actual answer too. 4 specifically.
Like if you think about, honestly, that whole series, if you think about that series a little too hard, man, Kojima's such a fucking hack. But he's so fun. He makes such fun shit that in the time it doesn't matter.
I guess maybe a lot of David Cage games. They're pretty like enjoyable as you go through them, but then when you think about them more, it's like that was extremely dumb.
Heavy Rain was one of my favorite games of that year until I revisited it. Oh, Beyond Two Souls is garbage. That was never good. I hated that game. But like Detroit is good until you're just like, this is kind of just a weird representation of real problems in our world. Like, I don't know. All of David Cage's games have a weirdness to it that if you think a little too hard about, you're just like, what were they doing?
Yeah, they're weird. I mean, I enjoy them all the time while going through them. I think they are fun to play through and some cool set piece moments. But yeah, when I look back on those games, it's like, that was really dumb. It was a dumb story.
Yeah.
Riptide writes, I was in a discussion with some people regarding what is considered a remaster, remake, and reboot of a game after someone was trying to figure out what exactly Final Fantasy VII Remake was, despite that answer literally being in the name of the game. So have you wondering, what do you guys consider to be the proper remasters, remakes, or reboots? Despite some people and official marketing say otherwise. All right, so we got to come up with definitions for these three.
This is simple.
Remaster, the game plays the exact same way.
So it's the same game done up. Yep. Yeah, he's right. That's what a remaster is. 100%. A remake
is a remake is Final Fantasy VII remake. It's more or less the same story, but with a bunch of tweaks to it.
It's a lot of the same ideas done differently, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And reboot is just fucking taking like the very basics of that story and then just going in a completely different direction.
Right.
Which I would argue 7 Remake starts going towards and then seems to like caution away from.
I think Final Fantasy VII Remake is more of a reboot.
Tomb Raider 2016 or whatever year that was is a good comparison. 2014.
Yeah, I mean reboot, you are taking kind of core themes. You are taking, core characters. And you are kind of making something new with it.
God of War.
God of War, like that game plays completely different.
Also, how important is it that the reboot has the exact same name? So, like, if it was God of War,
that's only done for marketing purposes. Let's be real.
I don't think it needs to have the exact same name.
But if it was called God of War Valhalla, is that a reboot?
Yeah, I still think it was a reboot because I think you are taking that series and you are doing something quite different with it. Like that game, just the camera change alone between what that used to be. Like it used to be an isometric top-down thing, and now it is a over-the-shoulder loot-based kind of thing or whatever. Or it doesn't have like a whole loot system, but you know what I mean.
Sure.
I think you could change the name. I'm just trying to think of any example where they were just like completely brand new name, and I think John's right. You wouldn't do that for the brand identity.
Well, because the whole idea of a reboot is you're trying to get new people in, right? It's a restart essentially in some way.
It's much like every single sequel in some way. You are trying to get new people in, but you want to keep the entire fan base you had. Because that's just money on the table. So remasters, remake. So where would you put ports in on this? Because I feel like a lot of the time
they're ports.
Okay, well, I mean that's not, you can't just define a game with a word with the word itself.
Why?
I mean that has not stopped people in the English language before.
And we all know the English language is broken.
But if you're just moving,
I never denied that.
If you're moving a game to another thing, that's just a port. That's not a remaster. It's literally just changing
the other thing, and it now runs better.
That's still a port.
That's still a port, yeah.
But because I could almost argue that
Have you updated any of the assets?
So the thing is, like, the minute you update anything, does it not technically become a remaster?
That's a remaster. As soon as you update any of the assets in the thing.
Okay, so I say if I'm porting a game to, let's say, like one console generation above or the PC, and it now runs a little bit better, is that not a remaster?
No,
by definition?
That depends on how much.
That's just called upscaling. That's not a remaster at all.
Well, because John was just making the argument a second ago that have you updated the assets? Upscaling would update the assets.
It has to be like enough of an update though, like, because remember, like, for a lot of games back in the day, they were downscaled to fit on the disc.
Yeah.
So just using the original dimensions of the files would not be a remaster. That would be like the original intended release.
Yeah.
You know, I look at games like they made all the HD remakes and even stuff that, like,
Sure.
I think of Deadpool. You know, I got ported one generation, and it was only it was like maybe less like a year after it had come out. Like, it was kind of a weird HD remake.
Uh-huh.
Nothing really changed besides it got a visual bump. So that's why I think the port and remake one gets a little blurry when you start, going across generations that way. What about all the games that were on both Xbox 360 and Xbox One? Those, like, or PS3, PS4
that's just a staggered release.
But is it not a port of one of the games?
It's a port, sure, but it's also no. It's not even a port. Technically, it's like just the planned release.
I don't know. So that's why I think it starts getting really gray, and that's why there's a lot of these issues, or that's why I think the definition gets really muddy here. Is because I think the minute you update anything, you could call it a remake.
I think the problem here is that this is technically a very stupid argument.
Oh, I mean, that's the whole point. We're all just, and that's what makes it fun. We're just debating semantics, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me again how you guys are splitting remaster and remake.
Remaster is literally just changing assets to accommodate a more modern look or feel, whereas a remake is taking the same, like, old property and basically redoing it with some new stuff added in.
Isn't that what we said a reboot was?
No, a reboot is literally taking an idea and then doing something completely brand new with it, not the same game.
Okay, so then you're saying remasters are closer to ports.
Yeah, absolutely they are. That's this whole semantic argument we were having just a second ago.
Okay. So yeah, I think so. How do you break down how much has to be changed from a port that it is now a remaster?
It has to be significantly it basically has to be like a new file, essentially. Like, it has to be significantly reworked. All of the things have to be retextured, maybe even like some camera movement. Like, it has to be the same game, but with enough work in it that they basically made the game again.
That sounds to me like a remake. They made the game again. Literally sounds like the definition of the word remake.
Uh-huh.
Making it. You know
because they're remastering the old game. Remaking is you change something significantly about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is all semantics. A lot of these would and they have been just like interchangeable. I think the reboot definitely is the biggest difference and the one that's most easily defined.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But like, when you think of all the times they ported Resident Evil 4, never once did they call those remasters, but those have got to be remasters at some point, right?
No, they're just upscaled. They're not remasters.
They still look the same, more or less.
All right. Another agree to disagree.
I mean, that's just objective fact. It's the exact same game. But yeah, sure. Is it mine or yours?
Next question.
Yeah, it's Paul's.
Okay. Green Fantastic says, it's a post-apocalyptic world, and due to random chance, your favorite game is this cult's Bible. What are this cult's goals, virtues, and rituals, and how do they survive as a group? All right, Sean, your favorite game is Burnout Paradise.
Right, you gotta smash all the billboards.
Okay.
You can't have billboards anymore. That is one of the goals.
Yeah.
Or that's a ritual, I guess, as well.
Sure.
Going off big jumps is, I guess, a ritual.
Hell yeah, man.
Big ass ramp.
Yep.
Yeah. My whole life is about hitting that big ass ramp. I guess we can only have 9 important locations. or we do have 9 important locations that form a circle.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Everything else in the middle doesn't quite matter. It's all about just being at one of those 9 locations. Wait, not 9, 8. Sorry, 8 locations.
Okay. How did they survive?
Well, I mean, it is a Mad Max style.
Oh,
Everyone
okay.
does have a car.
Okay. Yeah,
and
that
drives
works.
around.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Very good.
All right, John, favorite game.
Bomberman.
So
Oh,
what's your
wow.
goals, virtues, and rituals, and how do they survive?
They don't. They don't survive.
Too many bombs, man. Too many bombs.
Everyone in Bomberman's a robot, so like, you just you survive maybe a bomb, and then you just get remade as a cyborg or robot. And then as a result, you just have to have like to make sure everyone's ready for war and to convert new people. You practice the art of explosion, and you get locked into a giant maze and must survive.
Right, it's definitely like a Thunderdome aspect of these people are fighting each
Uh-huh.
other at all times kind of scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And are all games just Mad Max in some way?
Yes.
I think everything
seems
is just Mad Max in some way.
Paul, what's your favorite game?
Go with Resident Evil. How did they survive? Oof. Creating...
Superior DNA.
Yeah, just creating... They're the ones that created the virus, actually, in this post-apocalyptic world. So they don't. In the end, they're just a group of zombies that congregate every now and then. A group of infected.
Plucky cops stop them.
Yeah.
It's just the hardest to get kind of wacky with this one because it has like humans and stuff in it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it is just like a post-apocalyptic world. So you just like list off, well, they survive by shooting the zombies. Their goals are don't get bit by a zombie.
Sure.
I feel like we've basically just described the Resident Evil movies at that point, since those are all post-apocalyptic.
Yep, pretty much. Trying to think of something like more arcadey, but I like a lot of post-apocalyptic stuff anyway, so they don't translate well to this question for gaming.
All right, John, do you want to take this one from Sarcasm?
Sarcasm writes in and says, "What's a game that's hard to learn but easy to master?"
This is a hard question because I'm sure they don't mean the like standard easy to learn, hard to master, which I think was Bushnell's law in gaming. Yeah. The perfect game is easy to learn but hard to master. They literally mean the way they said it. The only ones I could think of is Monster Hunter, because that ceiling is fucking ridiculous. But once you know how to do stuff in that game, it's pretty simple. Also, Tony Hawk's Pro
Are you saying
Skater.
it's ridiculous? Like the ceiling is really high?
No, to be able to like get close, just to like learn it at all, to get in the building of Monster Hunter.
The way I interpret this is it has a hard, like a steep learning curve.
Yeah,
but the skill ceiling is actually pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah. The easiest way to interpret this is pick a game with bad controls and then getting used to the controls, and then you're fine.
Yeah, you could go that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the Tony Hawk games at first were hard to learn, but then like once you know, you can just go forever, grinding and doing stuff. Super easy.
Sure. I'll also maybe even kind of put racing games in here because every racing game kind of has the cars controlling a little differently. It may not be like that hard to learn them, but you do have to kind of figure out, okay, how does this car work? And now I know how to like win some races.
Uh-huh. Sure. Okay.
Last question from Zombie Twinkie. What's the biggest what the fuck moment in a game you've played?
Well, John and I played through Resident Evil 6 together, and I can think of many in that one.
So many coming to mind immediately.
Holy crap, that game is ridiculous. I'm trying to think of like the biggest one from that game.
I'd say the end of Chris's story, was pretty up there.
Yeah. What a weird ride that like last hour.
Yeah, it's such a directional tonal shift. My God.
Oh my God, that is a weird one. Also,
That's definitely my choice.
I don't know if you remember. Do you remember those weird like wiggly dudes that there was environmental kills in that game every now and then, and one of them was they would grab you and like pull you in with them into like this moving like fan blade or something that just chopped you up with them.
Oh yeah.
And it just had this long drawn out death scene of like a good minute of you dying. It's like, what the fuck are they doing? It was so weird.
Stupid.
Yeah.
The Quiet Man.
Yeah, the Quiet Man's a
Also,
big one.
yeah, also good choice.
The Quiet Man was like, what is going on? What is this thing? How did this get made?
That's a good one. Yeah.
I was gonna say there's like a bunch of games I can think of that have like a big like story twist, and it's just like, whoa, okay, but I can't say them because that would give away said game. So.
Sure. Yeah.
Gaiden Kaitos had a really good one that I liked. So, but really, apparently, just all the games that Monolith has worked on have some semblance of that kind of chaos.
We're going kind of in like a good surprise. I'll say like Nier Automata.
Yeah.
Is a good one.
Especially that true ending. It's pretty good.
Yeah, just kind of each consecutive ending as you go through it. I'll also say a Deadly Premonition 1.
Just in general, there's
both,
a lot of those. Yeah.
Just in general, kind of like some good surprises. Some also like what is going on with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, that's going to do it for questions. If you want to send in a question next week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What is your game of the week?
Fall Guys.
Picross, I guess.
I'm going to give it to Control. That game rocks.
It's so good.
If you want to listen to our SpongeBob-centric episode of TDP Plus, that's live, and you can go do that on the Patreon. And you should get excited for August's game that is Panzer Paladin. So we'll be playing through that and talking about it at the end of the month. Otherwise, we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.